what led to their contrasting fortunes over the past 5 years. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the group. We've got Ernest, Nefeli, Ed, and I'm Tom.
Woolworths was founded in 1879 by Franklin Woolworth. It was one of the first and most successful five and dime stores, which sold a variety of products from clothing to consumer electronics. In 2001, it focused more on sporting goods and changed its name into Foot Locker. However, after many years of operating, Woolworths shut down in 2008 with 800 stores at the time of closure. It was estimated that the total debts of Woolworths were £380 million, and that 30,000 people lost their job.
Primark was founded in 1969 in Dublin by a multinational food processing retailing company, Associated British Foods. The Irish clothing retailer focuses on offering value-for-money goods, giving them the USP of cheap clothes. Due to this strategy of cost leadership, they have managed to sell over £2 billion worth in the UK. Due to the success and popularity, they have rapidly expanded across the UK and worldwide. This led to the takeover of the Littlewoods chain in 2005. Primark employs around 50,000 people worldwide, with 160 stores in the UK.
Woolworths went bankrupt in December 2008, and the last of its stores were closed between Christmas and New Year. This happened because of a fall in sales and a decrease in the firm's share price, which occurred due to reasons which we explained later on in the presentation.
Although many other companies, including Woolworths, had some harsh periods in the past 10 years, Primark, on the other hand, had a rapid increase in their sales and in their profits. Their sales were nearly up 5 times compared to 2004 figures, while also having their profits increase from £108 million to £514 million. Also, mainly due to Primark's success, ABF's group share price has risen by nearly 3 times in the past 10 years.
The main reason for Woolworths' decline was their lack of unique selling point, or USP. Originally, they used value for money approach by targeting only customers of a lower income bracket. However, they slowly raised their prices, which led to their original target market not being able to afford their products. But unfortunately, they still retained the poor quality brand associated with low-cost goods, so higher income people who could afford their products still did not buy from Woolworths. Woolworths also sold too wide a range of items. This meant that there was nothing that they specialised in. Because of this, customers looking for specific products would go elsewhere and go to stores which specifically sold the products they were looking for. It also meant that each individual store could never have every item the brand was meant to sell. When customers were looking for items, a typical branch would only have the product 73% of the time. This was incredibly harmful to the brand as a whole, was its main reason for many of the customer complaints they received, and is what led to the incredible loss in the firm's customer confidence. The variety of stock also led to incredibly high costs of keeping the stock, as the firm had to hold all of its products. Using Porter's generic strategies, we can see Woolworths became stuck in the middle, with no target market to sell to, as they had no outstanding features for their products. In August 2001, Woolworths demerged from Kingfisher plc. This meant that they lost a lot of cash and financial stability, and with it, the ability to survive when not performing well for a relatively short period of time. It also meant they had a loss of expertise from the management, which will have set them on the route to failure. In the end, it was Woolworths' cash flow problems that forced them into liquidation. Woolworths refused trade credit by its suppliers, and they were forced to pay in cash, as their suppliers did not trust them to stay in business for much longer. Along with the high stock costs and the lower number of sales, Woolworths ran out of cash and was liquidated.
The contrasting wealth of Primark in the past 10 years is due to different factors collaborating to achieve one incredible growth. First of all, the global expansion has always been the key factor in the success of Primark. In the 2008 recession, Spain and Portugal was one of the badly affected countries. Whilst many countries will opt out, Primark insisted on investing more. Due to their low-priced goods, They have made large amounts of sales, and it is known that Primark is selling twice as many items than its main competitors. With 39 stores just in Spain, it expects to increase this number in the very near future. Furthermore, Primark is also has invested £200 million to enter the US market. It is not only the external expansion that is behind the success of Primark. It is the internal strategies that has allowed this to happen. Firstly, Primark has one vivid, clear strategy in terms of their product. Yes, it's the price. With its average product price only reaching £3.6, it is one of the cheapest clothing retailers in the world. Even though it is lowly priced, it offers recent trends in fashion to satisfy its customers. Primark also responds very quickly to its markets and has very clear target market in terms of their products. It is mostly targeted at fashion-led young shoppers who only get pocket money as their main source of income.
A recession occurs when the level of real national output declines over 2 successive quarters, causing a contraction in the total volume of production in the economy. As you all know, the UK and the rest of the world entered a period of recession in 2008, which lasted for 1.5 years, and was the cause of problems for many people and firms. This recession, now called the Great Recession, was the worst the UK has experienced in the past 50 years, and there was a real GDP reduction of 7.2%, and the retailing industry specifically has been hit especially hard, having lost £23 billion.
Woolworths was one of the biggest companies recession served in the shop. As we can see from the graph, Woolworths' stock price decreased within a year after. That was mainly because Woolworths had lost its credit insurers and had to pay suppliers up front. The insurers stopped insuring the company because out of fear that they would lose their money. This cost the company £200 million and caused severe cash flow problems. Secondly, as the years passed by, Woolworths had lost its competitive prices. The company sold a variety of products, and that prevented them from specializing in a single good. Thus, it faced great competition from everywhere. Consumers preferred going to specialized stores where they could purchase the same good in a lower price. Thirdly, the company had also great problems in non-shelf availability. The lack of stock pushed away the consumers and wanted to purchase goods from Woolworths stores. The company had spent £100 million on building its stores but failed in having adequate amounts of stock. Also, the increase in competition made things even more worse, as shops as Argos sold the same things in lower prices. Finally, Woolworths failed to realize in time that its old traditional business strategy, known as 5 and dime stores, were not getting them anywhere, and that the company always lagged behind from all trends. As we can see from the table, Woolworths, within 3 years, closed down 8 of its stores, but its profits and sales were decreasing at a higher rate. That was even before the recession had gone. Other reasons that recession served to finish off Woolworths was that it failed to use technology as a means of decreasing labor costs. That, along with the fact that it had no specific roles and responsibilities in its staff, created a lack of organization which seemed repellent to consumers. It is also questionable whether Woolworths store locations were well positioned, as 105 of its stores are still vacant, which is a large proportion of its total stores.
So on the other hand, the recession provided the Primark an opportunity to expand, because everybody wanted to keep up with today's fashion but not to pay the expensive price tags. This led to the sales increase of 20%, as they copied designs of New York's catwalks, but charged a tenth of the price of their clothes. And during the recession, like-for-like sales increased by 7%, whilst competitors like M&S fell by 6.8%, showing that they were gaining market share during the recession. And Due to this, operating profits rose by 19 million to 252 million during the recession. However, there is a dark side to Primark's operations. In Bangladesh, workers often work 80 hours weeks, ranging from 10 to 14-hour days, and with one-third of them working 7 days a week. For all these hours, garment workers only earn £19.16 a month, this being £25 below the Bangladesh living wage a month. Whilst one horrific fact is that 60% of all female workers in these factories are sexually harassed by their employees. And with no trade unions to voice their concerns, they are left vulnerable and open to exploitation. But then reality hit home when Rana Plaza collapsed, killing 610 people, after a blatant disregard for health and safety and weak laws. So how much lower do Primark's ethics need to drop before people take notice and stop funding their brutality? Post-recession Primark. In 2013, their revenue rose to £4.27 billion, a 22% increase from the year before, whilst profits rose by 44% to £514 million. The average capital employed rose by 9.1% to 26.1, showing that the business has become more efficient and therefore increasing the profitability.
There are plenty of lessons that we can learn from Woolworths' failure. Woolworths has no standout products. By analysing what they sold using the Boston Consultancy Group matrix, most of Woolworths' products were dogs, and they had no cash cows. Woolworths should have tried to scrap many of their products and tried to gain expertise in selling a smaller range of products. Woolworths were always behind the current trends and always failed to become particularly cool. In today's retailing industry, especially in recession, firms need to be able to act quickly and offer customers exactly what they want. As stated before, Woolworths allowed itself to get stuck in the middle when it lost its good value for money, but could not offer great quality products instead. As they were not in a niche market, their sales became lower, much lower than they should have been. Woolworths had their eggs in too many baskets. That is to repeat the point, that they had too many products. This meant their storage costs were too high for the levels of sales, and many customers lost confidence in the brand when they would not have products in the store they were meant to be selling. Although Woolworths were experiencing cash flow problems, they still tried to expand into online sales. This drove up costs even higher and had no major effect on the sales. If Woolworths had survived for much longer, we might have been able to see the benefits of their online retail. However, without the financial backing of Kingfisher plc, Woolworths were never going to last long enough to see the long-term benefits because of this increase in costs.
These are some of the business lessons that can be learned from the success of Primark. Firstly, we could see that companies should have a vivid, clear strategy and a realistic target market which would enhance the efficient use of scarce resources. Also, I believe that companies should have the flexibility in their strategies to adapt to vigorous economic climates. For example, in a recession, consumers may want lower priced products, while when the economy is in good shape, customers may want high quality products. Secondly, if a company doesn't respond to the changes in the market, it will result in unsatisfied consumers, which may lead to bankruptcy. This means companies should have regular research and development in order to keep up with today's fast-changing markets. For my last point, I believe companies need a good balance between ethics and profit maximization. Although there are ethical problems in Bangladesh, Primark still has success through their high profits. However, if unethical behavior persists, we may very well see the downfall of Primark.